Hey, what's up guys? Into the Birding Abyss here, finally back with another video. I know it's been like a month since I posted. I did really had a lot going on in the last like month and a half. Basically, I got married in like it was like late November, and then we had the holidays coming up, and I think I said to you on one of the other videos I got a new job back in October, so having like the new job, getting ready for the the date of the marriage, and then the holidays coming up, and setting up like time with family, getting gifts, all that stuff. So that definitely a lot of things to take care of. But now that the holidays are over, I decided to finally update Burning Abyss deck profile. Since we got a new ban list, which definitely a pretty good ban list. They changed a lot of things, which I think is good, and they could have. I think they should have hit a little more on like rescue ace and probably hit Pearly a little bit more as well. Maybe also hit Manadium a little bit, just because those decks were like Manadium did not get hit at all, and I think they should have also hit Labyrinth like those. But still, I can't complain too much. The ban list did do a lot of things, so I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, I know that the ban list didn't really affect Burning Abyss at all, but there's this build that I've been kind of messing around with that I thought was I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. I've been playing it more on Master Duel, and I know that Master Duel has Maxi and we don't, but I've been finding pretty good success with it in Master Duel, and I decided to make like a TCG version of it, obviously without Maxi. So I thought I would share with you guys. It's definitely, I've never put a build like this before on the channel, and while there definitely is some, I guess, confliction or some thing, like, it has its weaknesses, of course, the build, but I think in a way it can actually, in some ways, it does help the deck a lot. But I'll just get into the build and I explain a little bit more during the profile. But yeah, as you guys can see in the title, this is my deck profile for my Burning Abyss, or I guess Bystial Burning Abyss deck profile. So the reason I decided to put the Bystials in is because the Bystials basically help the deck, since the Bystials kind of go in line with Burning Abyss as well. Like, Burning Abyss has been known to be a very grindy deck. Like, it recurs itself with a Dante Seer loop, being able to bring out bodies and things like that. And the Bystials do the same thing, like with Regained and Beast. You're able to recycle your stuff and keep bringing bodies back and keep playing the game. So I definitely think that they synergize pretty well in the department. Obviously, the Bystials are not Burning Abyss monsters, so there is some conflict there. But with the way that I set up the build, I decided to focus more on like having the one card starter with Tour Guide, just because you would think that because we're in a relatively hand trap type format, that's you don't want to max out on Tour Guide. But the thing is, if like Tour Guide is just, you want one card starters because the deck requiring 2 level 3s to be able to play, it just gives the deck more room for brick hands, I guess. Like, if you don't have Tour Guide, then you need 2 BAs to be able to play, right? But that means you have to increase the number of BA cards, right? But at the same but you don't want to do that because the BA cards themselves are not that great, besides like Graph and Seer, like, and I guess Skarn, but the other ones are not that great to draw. Like Farfa, you really want to keep that in deck, and then the other ones you honestly want to keep them in deck as well. So I decided instead to go for Tour Guide, because yes, while we are in a hand trap heavy format, Tour Guide kind of just is the one card starter. So if you're able to resolve Tour Guide, it's like you're able to set up a good field. And even if you don't, let's say your Tour gets negated, then having like any kind of combination of Bystials makes it so that you could potentially have follow up, I guess, or keep playing depending on what the rest of your hand looks like. And there are some cards that I decided to incorporate in here that kind of help with that scenario too if you get negated. So yeah, definitely a pretty interesting deck, because even if it negates Tour Guide, sometimes you can depending on your hand, you could set up like you could still end on IP with like regain on board, um, or 4 IP with like a Bystial on board with regain. So it's like, yeah, then you get your tour guide, but you can still play the game, you know. And I decided to incorporate some cards in here that will help with one of the problems the deck has is draw power, which it does not have much. So I decided to incorporate a card in here that I think also helps the deck as well, being able to dig deeper into the deck and really search out your tour guide if you need to. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into the deck profile. Alright guys, so let's just hop right in. Of course, for the main deck, going for the BAs first, we did have to make the lineup smaller since we are playing other cards. So we're playing 2 Graph, 2 Seer, 2 Skarm, 2 Farfa, and for now I've been testing 2 Libic, but I might end up cutting that one to 1 to make room for another card that I'll explain to you guys a little later. But these are the multiples. Of course, these are like the best BAs, so you want multiples of these. Graph, Seer, Skarm, of course, are the best ones. Normally, in other builds, I played 3, or I was playing 2 Skarm before and 3 of each of these. But yeah, you normally want 3 Graph and Seer, but right now I've just been playing 2 just to make room for other stuff. Also, because we are going with more of a tour guide focus, this is actually, you know, it actually works out pretty well. And there's another card in the deck that you guys will see that if you only draw 1 BA, sometimes it's not even that bad because of another card. You guys will see. So this is the main BA lineup. So that was 10 right there. And then for the 1-ups, we're playing, of course, 1 Alec, 1 Barbar, and 1 Calcab. So these, of course, yeah, these are the more utility-based ones. I think it's still good to have them in the deck just for certain niche scenarios. But yeah, and you also want different names to also just, you know, just to be able to, if you draw 2 BAs, then it's fine. And then, of course, we are playing triple tour guide. We are not playing Rhino Warrior in this build because, well, one thing, Rhino Warrior is an earth monster. It's not a dark, which we have a certain card in here that helps out a lot with dark monsters. And like I said, we want to focus on more of a 1-card starter. So having 3 tour guide is like the best. It's in this deck, it's the best card. Just if it goes through, it's really good, you know. You really want to see tour guide in this build, so that's why we're maximizing it at 3. Now for the Bystial lineup, we are playing 3 Lubellion. Of course, it searches like all your other Bystial stuff, and it gets you your regained and your regained. I don't have a Baldrake, so right now I'm playing 3 Sarnier. But when I get a Baldrake, I'm probably gonna cut 1 Sarnier, so I could have 2 Sarnier, 1 Baldrake, just because I mean Sarnier is the one you can play at 3 and be fine. But I think having 3 of any of the Bystials is a little bit too much. Like, you don't want to drop multiples in your hand. So that's why I am going to cut Sarnier to 2 whenever I get a Baldrake and put in 1 Baldrake. But yeah, for now 3 Sarnier, just because it does help you dump your Lubellion in order to, you know, be able to set up your spell card. We're playing 2 Druid's Worm and the 1 Magnemite, of course. Yeah, these are obviously Magnemite's at 1. Druid's Worm is pretty good for removal, non-destruction removal, and yeah, I think this is a pretty typical Bystial lineup nowadays. Now that Magnemite is limited, but yeah, like I said, I will cut this Sarnier for 1 Baldrake. But that's it for the Bystial lineup. Of course, like I said, the Bystials help a lot with the grind game, so that's why we decided to include this package in here. And they're like hand traps too, so they, again, certain decks, they can be pretty good. Now, for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, and 3 Imperm. Of course, you still need some going second cards, so definitely, besides just because obviously the Bystials don't hit every deck. So these cards are just like the generic 9. Depending on some more testing, because like I said, I mostly tested this deck in the
in Master Duel. But the Effect Veiler was like the maxi, right? Because I wasn't running Effect Veiler in Master Duel. But for now, I'm running Effect Veiler. It could be Nibiru, could be another option, or Droll in the main, depending on, maybe catering what to your locals. But I definitely think Ash is mandatory, and Imperm is, I mean, not mandatory, but I think Imperm is just a solid all around good card. Effect Veiler, the only thing I don't like about it is that it's a bad 6 card to draw. So that's it for those cards, the actual hand traps. Now, a little bit of the goo. I am playing 3 Allure of Darkness. Okay, so my thought process for this card was I needed a card that would help the deck withdraw power, right? But normally Desires is the go-to card in Burning Abyss, just because Prosperity and Pot of Extravagance, you don't really want to banish your extra deck. Like, this deck is very reliant on extra deck, especially with the Burning Abyss cards. So I definitely needed a card that wouldn't, obviously that ruled those 2 cards out, Prosperity and Pot of Extravagance. Now, for Desires, because we're playing this Bystial package and we play the Regained and all that stuff, I definitely did not like the idea of Desires in the deck, just because you only have 1 Magma, you only have 1 Regained. So it's like banishing those 1-ups, which are really important for the grind game of this deck, is definitely a no-go. So I was thinking, what other card could I use? And I mean, while Allure is not as good as those cards, Allure of Darkness is actually also, in this build, I think it's actually really good, because if you draw 1 BA, it's an easy banish, like discard banish off of the Allure of Darkness if you have it too. And if it gets you into a tour guide, even better. It's a 1-card starter. Or if it gets you into, like, if you already have tour guide and you have like 1 name, only 1 name, then Allure, if you don't have a Bystial, Allure might, like, you banish the BA since you already have tour guide, and then if it gets you into your Bystials, really, really good. So it just helps you dig into the deck a lot better, and I think it's worked out pretty well for me. I know in Master Duel I'm in plat right now with this deck. I've been using it to climb, so I mean, I know it's not as great as the TCG. Like, it's easier to climb in Master Duel, but I still think it's a pretty good achievement. And now for the last 3 cards, or I guess I'll go with the 2 1-ups, like, that are limited. 1 Foolish and 1 Chaos Space. Of course, Foolish is very versatile. You can send Sarnier, you can send Rebellion, you can send any BA. It's good going second, good going first, so definitely think it's a card that's necessary. And then Chaos Space, of course, all your BAs are dark, so discarding any BA to search for your Lebellion, really good. It's just another copy of Lebellion, basically. So really good stuff. And in certain scenarios, like, if Lebellion's banished, you can banish this, put Lebellion back, draw a card. So yeah, definitely think these are necessary. And the last card, of course, is the Branded Regained. I'm still experimenting with whether I want to include Beast or not. If I include Beast, then I'm going to cut one of the Libics for a Beast, since I'm playing 2 Libic right now. In Master Duel, I did have the Libic at 1, and I'm playing the Beast as well. Right now, I haven't tested too much in the TCG, so I want to test out just the Regained first, just because, of course, like, having Regained and Beast, like, I mean, they're not bricks per se, but you don't really want to draw them. So, of course, including both Beast and Regained, then you have higher chance of drawing one of those 2 cards that you don't want to draw. But in Master Duel, with the Beast has been pretty good. So I might, for now, I'm going to test this out, and then I'll switch over to adding the Beast in and cutting 1 Libic. Now going into the extra deck, of course, we are playing the 1 Tour Guide. The 1 Beatrice and the 2 Dante. That's basically it for, like, the BA stuff. It makes me sad not having the purple Dante, but there's just no room anymore with all the new support. Or the new cards that have been coming out. Of course, the Zeus package, we're playing the 1 Downard, 2 Zeus. I've contemplated, honestly, playing 1 Zeus now for this build, and to create more space in the deck, in the extra deck. Just because, obviously, because you're going for the Bystials if you can with the Regained. You don't want to Zeus, like, you don't want to board wipe your Regained, so it's like, I've been finding myself not going into Zeus as much. Um, and with this build, since it can go first or second, like you typically try to go first. Obviously, like the Zeus is not good at going first, right? But for now, I am keeping the 2 Zeus just to have it. But yeah, definitely, I might be cutting that to 1. But one of the reasons why I keep it at 2 is because of Cash Zero, you know. But yeah, so we got the 1 Sky Crisis. Obviously, this card is very good. And then going into the links now, we are playing 2 Link 4s. We're playing Access Code, and we're playing Appaloosa. Of course, because we have the Bystials in hand, then it's easier to end on more cards on the board. Like IP Beatrice with like a Lubellion on board is a typical combo that you can end on. So definitely makes it easier to Appaloosa becomes easier to make basically, and it becomes an option. Especially when you keep recurring your Bystial monsters, it definitely makes it easier to make this card. So I definitely think it's a good option. Of course, access code is just access code, you know. And actually having access code with Appaloosa 2, now you have more attributes to banish. But then of course we're just playing 1 Link 3, the Nightmare Unicorn. Very standard for Burning Abyss. It's a target for IP. Of course, the IP. The Link 2s, we got IP Masquerena, SP Little Knight, Dark to Dark Charmer, Cherubini. These are like same as my previous build. These are the 4 Link 2s that I'm opting to play. Of course, IP is typical for your M board. Helps you go into SP Little Knight. SP is of course a very good card. Dark, very easy to make in this deck, and I think it's definitely necessary to play. And then Cherubini, of course, it's mandatory for Burning Abyss. Now, the second Zeus and this card, the Gravity Controller, are like the 2 kind of like flex spots in the deck for now. I am playing the Gravity Controller for now, just because that's the card I've found that comes up the most compared to like my other options. Like the other options are Fortune Tune, Underworld Goddess, it's another option. So, those cards, you know, I think Controller comes up the most, since if you draw Seer, if you draw No Way to Graph, and you have Seer in hand, then you can still make Gravity Controller if you need to. And like I said, the second Zeus, maybe it could be like the Fortune Tune or maybe the Breaksword for Phantom Knight, just because the Phantom Knight card has more attack points than Dante. And like if you need more than 1,000 attack points, like if you don't want to detach to mill for Dante to have more materials for Zeus, then the Breaksword is a good card to have. So, you know, I'll have to keep testing to see what comes up more, you know. But Gravity Controller for now, which later, I mean, depending on scenarios, I could change it to like Fortune Tune. And this, you know, could become like a Breaksword or something. But for now, this is what I'm playing. That's it for the build, guys. Basically, you know, Bystial, Burning Abyss. Like I said, it's a pretty good build. I guess I can... I'll probably make a dedicated video for, you know, kind of like a... I don't know if I'd say combo tutorial, but maybe like a test hand / mini combo tutorial video for this deck. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.